The number one offender type is biological fathers, but by far it is being done by middle-aged Caucasian men. Over half of them college graduates. Many of them are educated, good jobs. This isn't just who we're thinking about. Like they're technical savvy, and I think that it is time that we call them out. Like that we can't stand by and stand back. Like we have to stand up and say, not only are we not doing our job as men, it's actually the opposite. Instead of being defenders and protectors of our families, we're hurting and abusing.
Boom! Ooh, got your ass.
I said I'm never coming back again. Next I stepped away from the mirror. I got my mind made up now, cause I can see the future much clearer.
What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscribe or die trying. You see the thumbnail. More importantly, you saw the clip with Tim Tebow. White on white crime. See, a lot of times people get online with this narrative, black people are the most this and the most that. But it's surprising to me that it's surprising for white people to have to hear from their own people like, yo, we're doing this and we're doing that and we're doing this, and oh, it's shocking. It's like, it's only shocking to y'all. Are y'all, the prime suspect for child abuse? Okay. Are y'all the prime suspect for child sexual abuse? Okay. Are y'all the prime suspect for sexual assault? Okay. Are y'all the prime suspect for mass shooters? Okay. Are y'all the prime suspect for embezzling? Okay. Or all white collar crime? It's you, the face of everything. You know, are you the face of how can I say this? You say drug dealing has a black or Hispanic face, or then a black, Hispanic, Asian, and then maybe white. But it's like, you're the face of that too. You know what I'm saying? Fraud. we like to play the Nigerian scammer thing, but fraud, you're the face of it. So when we're looking at society as a people, and it's like, yeah, man, y'all get away with a lot. And because y'all get away with a lot, you act like y'all not doing it. And that's the furthest thing from the truth. You're doing it and you're getting away with it. So it's like, oh, it doesn't count. And it's like, yes, it does. Yes, it does. So, like, when I was hearing politicians talking about what's going on in Africa and Burkina Faso, our gold. That's not your gold. That's their gold. It's not yours. Like this idea that, oh, I said something's mine, so I get to take it. That's a European thing. I just get to show up and just take stuff. That's a European thing. I just get to show up to people's, the idea that I can invade your privacy, invade your space, invade your home, invade anything, just, invade your how can you call that? Even invade your transactions in society. Like, I just show up. It's like, no, 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 no. I gotta, this is y'all. This is what y'all do. And y'all do it with each other more than y'all do it with us, but excuse me, but y'all want to act like we doing all this stuff all the way around the world. And it's like, no. What goes on is white America covers up its criminality, all from the street level to gang, that's street level to to the religious level of criminality, to the political level of criminality, to the business level of criminality, to just the regular civilian level of criminality, military criminality. It's like y'all getting away with it all. And people like to use these stereotypes of music and movies to point the finger at us. And it's like, okay, so how many movies about war have you seen, or movies about the military, where the soldiers have a Confederate flag in the back, or a swastika in the back, or I forgot whatever the other sign is, but it's all like racist, white supremacist flags, right? How many times have you seen that? You know, how many shows have you seen where white people commit crime after crime after crime after crime after crime and really no issues? How many times? You know, and a lot of the criminality, as far as shows go, is based on true stories. That's why they got a statue of the Breaking Bad, is it Walter White, in Albuquerque, New Mexico. This was so good. We got to bring a statue for dealing meth because it's based on a true story. No, Goodfellas, true story. What was the movie with Tom Cruise? Is it Blow? True story. You get what I'm saying? A lot of what goes on in America, as far as criminality, we act like, oh, it's not a big deal. It's like, okay, the Catholic Church. Oh, they just let me just fondle your kids. Oh man. It's like, oh, okay. But we just gonna act like that didn't exist. Even the Boy Scouts was like that. It was, let me let me get let me you gotta earn your badge. Just come in the woods with me. It's like, oh, okay. Interesting. Interesting. So like I said, the business world, you've seen it time and time again. From even with the depictions of like Wolf of Wall Street, you know, criminal stuff. The Big Short was basically criminal stuff. You know, so this idea of like white criminality just being, oh my god, y'all like the Home Alone kid. Oh, like I didn't know. You knew. You absolutely knew. It's just you don't want to deal with it. Sons of Anarchy. Like, because when I say criminality with, shows, you find this, art depict, art imitates life and life imitates art thing. And what you see is you see a lot of white criminals in cops cool, white criminals and federal agents cool. You get what I'm saying? They just, hey, well, what's up? You know, and you wind up going, okay, this is too prevalent to not be played out in real life. And then you come across a lot of stories like, oh, because it was real life, because it is real life. And then going back to Tim Tebow, right? Like white guys are the biggest child abusers in America. Okay. You know, but here's the thing. And when it comes to like white criminality, nobody's gonna stop it. Nobody's gonna say, nope, we can't do this. You remember the show To Catch a Predator? Predominantly white guys. Talking to what they thought was 12, 13, 14-year-old girls and boys. Like, I'm gonna come by, and just, oh, I love you. It's like, okay. But even with that show, it's like, you know, the biggest depiction of that is actually Fleece Johnson on the Boondocks. I like you and I want you. We could do this the easy way or the hard way. The choice is yours. But he was trying to get at Chris Hansen. But all the other people who, run like they amputee when they realize they got caught and get tasered out as soon as they get in the yard of the house, we don't count that. I remember they had a show about that with teachers. Teachers sleeping with really, manipulating and molesting their students. The show didn't go on but like a couple of episodes because it was predominantly white women as teachers sleeping with, kids. Black boys predominantly. Like, we got to cover that up. It's like, oh, okay. Going back to, insurance, civil rights, from the civil rights movement and insurance with all the riots that go on to this day where people, burn down stuff for the insurance money. And You know, a lot of times the insurance companies, it was cool. You know, it was the blacks that burned it down. No, it was you that burned it down. But hey, we blamed it on the blacks. So let's get this money. You know, to the point, maybe about 5, 10 years ago, you started hearing the stories of people getting caught burning down their own establishment and blaming it on black people. They became news stories after a while. Like, nah, you did it. You did it. You know, it was racial. No, 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 no. You know, so you have this over and over and over again in our society, and we try to act like it's a surprise. You know, like the show like Ozark. You know, I could get them going because I can name real people like Bernie Madoff. You know, you can name Oliver North, like in Iran Contra. You could like this stuff goes on. Even last year with Joe Biden's son. You know, just we don't know how all these drugs got in the White House. Yeah, you do, but he's white, so we're not gonna count it. And going back to even when Barack Obama was president and they had all of them death threats and people just said, To fast forward to January 6th with all of that criminality, people go, it's okay. You know, so, you know, white crime is normalized in America. White crime is normal. That's why, if a person like Tim Tebow wants to fight against it, I don't think it's going to go that far because, because I've seen the scenarios where I've seen white parents um, fight for their kids is not freedom, but in defense of their kids for being a victim of something from another white person, and they notice how the system gave them a slap on the wrist, and then they go, "That's what black people talking about." That's when it hits them. Your daughter got assaulted by a white dude at college, and 9 Pennyworth the third. It's okay, and it's like, oh, he was just playing. They're like, what? And it's like, okay, because it happens like that. So now I'm gonna leave it at that. But tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.